Hi, everyone. Greg Heilman with the Sound on Stage. Today I'm joined by Lynette Winters. Lynette is a singer, songwriter, author, screenwriter, et cetera, et cetera. And what Lynette is joining me to do here today is kind of a combination get to know a theater behind the curtain. She is a managing director of the Underground Theater here in Seattle, and I want to talk to her about that a little bit, and also then about their upcoming show, Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth, which opens on April 18th this week. Hi, Lynette. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, really glad to talk to you. I wasn't. Your theater group is new to me, so I think let's start there if we could. Can you just talk a little bit about the Underground Theater? I love the name, by the way. I love it. Underground kind of. You picture this edginess, this kind of grittiness to it. So I love that. But let's talk about, if you could just give me a little bit history of it, what your philosophy of programming is, that sort of thing.
Sure. Before I came along, the underground theater actually, um, I would say, morphed from Queer Global, which was a online theater society, film festival in which people like from 13 different countries, if I'm not mistaken, and they all came together during the pandemic and shared their love of theater and different works and things that they were working on. But after the pandemic ended, Ryan was like, I have to do something with this. I don't want, just let this nonprofit die because everybody went back to work. And one day I was on Facebook. I put out a post that said, hey, are there any musical enthusiasts out there? And Ryan, they responded to my post. We met at Paquitos in Capitol Hill in September of 2023, and the rest is history. And now we are the Underground Theater.
Excellent. Now, Rye, who you're referring to, is Rye Armstrong, the creative
Yes,
director of the Underground Theater.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and he's also, he's involved, it seems like everywhere in the Seattle theater scene, up the Key City, up in Port Townsend, all the way down here to Seattle. So he's definitely got some influence and some love of theater, which I think we all do, which is what brings us together as a community. Um, I love your slogan, develop a slogan, vision, mission statement, develop new works that release shame and nurture community. And we're going to talk about the new show here in a little bit and how that meets that kind of vision. But can you just explain a little bit about what the intention of the group is, the philosophy? Obviously, new works. This is a new work coming up, the Brown Bodies on a Blue Planet. Um, you focus on new works. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. Oftentimes, what Ryan and myself have seen just in the theater space, a lot of different artists, they get works that have already been done, like people get stuck in marginalized roles and, nothing new to like breathe new life into what we're doing, because we believe that everything that we do should be impactful, and intentional, um, because, you know, real art, it brings about an experience with people, in which they find community, they find support, they find compassion. So we wanted to do something a little bit different. We didn't just want to be another theater company.
Yeah, and that's what I love to see, because I think the more theater I see, the more I appreciate things that are different, groups that are willing to take risks with new pieces, or pieces that haven't been seen yet, or that people don't know much about. So on that, let's segue into Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth. Now, this is written by Cris Eli Blak. The
Correct.
production is directed by Brodrick Ryans and runs through April 18th through May 12th at the Base Camp Studios on First Avenue here in Seattle. So how did this play come about? Do you have a relationship with Cris, or how did that happen?
Uh, right. I believe when Wright was living in New York over 8 years ago, they met Cris, in which this particular play they had been wanting to do for a few years. And so to see it, actually embark on it at this very moment, it's just like very, groundbreaking um, for Ryan and myself, because it's like the world premiere of it, to be here in Seattle, Washington, and Cris Eli Blak is an amazing playwright with a lot of things that he has done. I met him on Zoom. Just learning from him. This adaptation of his work and staying to with the integrity of the work has been like something that I was fully focused on. Even as the managing director, just facilitating everything. So that was very important to me.
Yeah, so I assume if, and I don't want to give any spoilers or plot points of the play, but I assume from the title, does it go into the experience of brown bodies on a blue earth, kind of the Black experience on in the current society?
It's an all BIPOC and all Black, Indigenous people of color play, in which it shows it's Afrofuturistic, post-apocalyptic, end of the world, where you see people like navigate community, love, scarcity. You're seeing a lot of different things happen, like as the sun is growing dangerously close to the earth, and you're kind of seeing them still find joy at the end of the earth, which is something I haven't seen. Most of the time, I don't know what your experience is or what you've witnessed on TV or movies. Like post-apocalyptic, it's like everything is like gory, like
Oh, it's bleak. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You're lucky in a TV show or a movie if you get an acceptance of the world ending, and that's the best you're going to get. You're never going to get hope. You're never going to get anything like that. So, yeah, it sounds like a refreshing kind of take on this, and very human as well.
yes, yeah. They're definitely humanized. You kind of see how they just navigate treating each other because they're not all together. If I could just put that short spoiler out there, but they're trying to navigate life the best way that they can with the minimal resources that are available during this time.
Yeah, if you could tell me a little bit about the Base Camp studio. So it's on First Avenue here in Seattle. Uh, what kind of space is it? What can people expect to see when they come in?
When they come into Base Camp Studio, they'll see a lot of artwork by the artists that actually, host their work there, from like metal art to like, people like they bend like different woods, like a lot of different things. Their perception of, like, you may see someone take a mirror and they paint it and it's purple and yellow and it's got like some type of caption on it, or little small art. It's very grungy, very artsy. When you come down to the basement where we're hosting the production, it's a lot of graffiti. It's dark. It gives that basement
Underground.
feel. Yeah, underground. In fact, that used to be, there was a club called the Underground, if I'm not mistaken. It's still, the name is inscripted on the bar
Oh, nice.
of the space. Yeah. So it kind of like underscores, like, okay, we chose the right location.
Boy, I love those spaces when, things when you see some, or when you go downstairs into something that you just don't know what you're going to see. And there's a bunch of those around Seattle like that, a bunch of great art happening in places like that. What is next at the Underground Theater after Brown Bodies?
We're preparing for our, the next season. We've been reaching out to other artists. We ourselves are working on a musical. So there are things definitely brimming in the Underground Theater camp, if I can say that.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, how about for you? You've got I mentioned in the quick bio we did, singer, songwriter, author, screenwriter. What's next for you?
I recently just wrapped a TV show that I was casted on last year in October called Opportunity Knocks with PBS, in which it kind of chronicles the life. It says the logline is, when families are living paycheck to paycheck, we help them realize the American dream is possible. So the show premieres May 1st on PBS. And yeah, I put a lot of hard work in it. I'm excited to see what I look like.
Well, it sounds like there's this thread of hope through the things that you're doing. I mean, that sounds like that show's got some hope in it. Brown Bodies in a Blue Planet has hope in it, and that's something I think, especially coming out of COVID, especially with the political climate that we've got now and things going on just around the world. Hope is one thing that's in short supply.
Absolutely. And I've met I met a couple of people that I really didn't know personally as far as like their theatrical skills, but with me being the casting director, just seeing something in them and sharing that, with the creative team and seeing them now cast for this production of Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth and shining and really, showing them a different part of themselves, that feels good. Like you said, that hope. So they have hope now.
Fantastic. Well, I will post a link to the Underground Theater website in the show notes here. Is there, do you have are you on social media? How can people,
Yes, you can find us at the under 206.
okay.
Yeah, on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. Those are and Twitter, but we also are on Facebook. So I post on all socials because I wear many hats, as you stated. So I try to make sure to keep engaging, with our audience, with people that support us. So it just intrinsically feels really good just to see we're on the precipice of something great.
Yeah, and good for you doing TikTok. That is one thing. We've got a TikTok account. I haven't figured out how to use. I mean, I figured out how to use it, but but anyway, that's
I'm
good on
learning.
you for doing.
I'm learning. One of the cast members actually will take something that I created, a skit or something, and they'll transform it. And I was like, thank you. It doesn't take anything away from me.
Yeah, that's great. So how about you, Lynette? Do you have a social media presence if people want to, keep an eye out for your show, your
Sure.
Opportunity Knox
My
show coming up?
social, yes, I'm on Facebook as Lynette Winters, my real name. And my Instagram is Lynette SHEREEW. That's my Instagram. So I'm pretty active on both of those. That's where I get primarily most of my engagement on
Okay,
both of those
awesome.
profiles. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will include those in the show notes as well, so people can keep an eye out. I know my wife and I love PBS. It's one of our favorites
Great.
in our menu. So I mean, if you've got something coming out on there, we're gonna watch it. So
Yeah.
and we'll be looking forward to that. So, Lynette Winters, once again, the managing director of the Underground Theater. The show is Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth, which
Yes.
opens April 18th, runs through May 12th at the
Yes.
Basecamp Studios here in Seattle. Thank you so much,
Correct.
Lynette, for taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, thank you for taking the time to just even want to highlight, what we're doing. It does. It makes us feel good that what we're doing is worth it. It's worth it
Yeah,
all.
and I can't wait to come out and see the show. So I've got that on my calendar, and that's in a couple of I forget which day I'm coming out to see that, but I think maybe May. So I think it's a closing weekend, with my schedule. So, but still, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
We looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Awesome. For all of you out there, thank you for joining us once again. This is sort of a combination of Get to Know a Theater Behind the Curtain. For the Sound on Stage, I'm Greg Heilman. Until the next time, I will see you at the stage door.